Genesis chapter 32, starting at verse number 22. When you finally say, I got it. There may be some variance in what you see and what I say. That is accounted for because I'm reading from the English Standard Version. It records the word of our God to read like this. The same night, he arose and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream and everything else that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched his hip socket. And Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Then he said, let me go, for the day has broken. But Jacob said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. And he said to him, what is your name? And he said, Jacob. Then he said, your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have striven with God and with men and have prevailed. Then Jacob asked him, please tell me your name. But he said, why is it that you ask my name? And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, saying, for I have seen God face to face, and yet my life has been delivered. The sun rose up on him as he passed Peniel, limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the people of Israel do not eat the sinew of the thigh that is on the hip socket, because he touched the socket of Jacob's hip on the sinew of the thigh. You may be seated. This is God's word, and I believe it to be so, and I present it to you in that fashion. Isaiah says the grass withers and the flowers fade, but the word of our God shall stand forever. James, the half-brother of Christ, says, don't just hear the word, but be ye doers of the word, for if not, you will fall into self-deception. For the allotted time that we have to share today, I just want to raise this one idea, if you would allow me to label our lesson, bless me. Bless me. Would you indulge me by repeating our topic, bless me. Give God a praise offering for his word. Bless me. Bless me. In this series, which is titled, I Am Blessed, I've attempted as best as I can to impress upon you that the blessings of God are not external, they're internal. The blessings of God are spiritual in nature. We don't seek things, we seek someone. We want God, in the words of our text, to bless us. What good is it to have the trappings of this world, but you have no relationship with God? Are y'all with me? Things do not satisfy. Things are temporary. When you think of blessings, particularly in this series, I want you to focus in, hone in on your relationship with God. God blesses us through our intimate relationship with Him. Am I making any sense this morning? See, robbers, thieves, rust, time can destroy the material things. But the internal blessing that we enjoy with God, this world did not give it, neither can this world take it away. Christendom will forever be confusing at best if you are looking at God to finance your agenda. If you're looking for God to make you famous, wealthy, and dare I say wise, the true wisdom that the scriptures teach us comes from fearing God. I don't know if I'm coming through. Couched in these 10 verses is the patriarch of our faith. God identifies himself generationally as the God, this is one family, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob, where we meet him in chapter 32. Jacob is on the run. He essentially has been running his entire life. Jacob comes to a moment in time to where all indications are signaling him that reckoning day is today. He left his brother, his twin brother, his older twin brother Esau. He left him furious, for he tricked his twin brother out of his birthright. One day he was making stew and his brother was coming in from the field, and his brother was famished, and his brother did not value his birthright the way he ought to. And Jacob took advantage of his brother's carelessness. His brother was cavalier. His brother was carnal. His brother did not appreciate what his birthright represented. And his brother is famished, and Jacob sees an opportunity, and he, watch this, he manipulates the circumstances. And he tricks his brother, and he says, I'll sell you a bowl of soup. Y'all got that look on your face. See, watch your appetite and watch your appetite when you're on the edge, because it's just human nature. We will tend to exaggerate and create in our minds that the situation is more dire than it actually is. I can already tell you, I've got to come back to this because I'm not going to have enough time to do with this what I want to do. Jacob is an interesting study. He is our patriarch. Jacob says, I'll sell you. If you have your thinking cap on, you ought to say, that's your brother. You go, oh, sell your brother? But in Jacob's day and in our day, Jacob is thinking in terms of a con man. He's thinking in terms of a con artist. Keep in mind, hold in juxtaposition that this is our patriarch. We're connected to him. Jacob is only thinking materialistically. All he wants is what he wants. And God allows him to flesh this hedonism out. He fleshes this worldly, fleshly, carnal appetite out, and it's demonstrated. It comes to a head when his brother is hungry, famished. His backbone is connecting to the lining in his stomach, and watch, he starts exaggerating. Esau, he says, I'm starving, I'm about to die. He wasn't about to die. He just had worked hard that day and he wanted something to eat. But if you only can see right now and you lack the ability to see beyond now, you can over exaggerate and sell what you ought to keep. Please hear me. Esau got what he wanted, the bowl of soup, but he lost what he had, his birthright. That's another sermon. You got what you wanted, but you lost what you had. Oh, Jesus. Then their father is Isaac. See the generation? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. These are the grandsons of Abraham. And Isaac is getting old. So Isaac wants to bless Esau, his eldest son. And his eyesight is growing dim. And he says to him, hey, go kill me a deer. I like the way you cook venison. I like the way you make that meal. Make my favorite meal, and we will eat the meal. And after I finish eating this meal, I'm going to bless you. Jacob, the hustler, the con artist, he sees another opportunity. And while his brother is going out to kill the game, he and his mama concoct this plan to, here's the true nature of Jacob, to trick Esau out of his blessing. While he's away, we go patch, y'all got to fall in love with scripture. We go patch some hair on you. They're twins, but they're not identical. One is smooth, Jacob, and one is hairy, Esau. But they're twin boys. And he cuts this hair with his mama's assistance, and she found some deer meat that she didn't have to hunt and kill. It was gamey by now, but she figured Isaac is old and he don't know the difference. We'll put some seasoning on it and we'll just pull the proverbial wool over his eye and bring it to your dad before he gets an opportunity to bless Esau, before he comes in from the field. And Jacob sitting there with this costume on. And Isaac is old and his eyes is dim, and he says, come here. You feel like Esau, but you sound like Jacob. And he essentially gets his brother's blessing. When he does this, the timing is of such to where Esau finally comes back. Papa, Daddy, I got your favorite meal. Yeah, huh? I've already eaten. I just split. And now clarity comes. Your brother got you again. And as I fast forward, these two major issues help serve for chapter 32. This puts, I told you Jacob has lived essentially on the run. These two major events in Jacob's life puts him on the run, and he lives 14 years with his uncle because he sees Rachel. and his uncle pulls a fast one on him, and he ends up having to work double time. This is how he ends up with two wives, Leah and Rachel. It's impressed upon his heart to go home. He goes home as I fast forward. But he knows, when I see Esau again, it's going to be Knuckle City. When I see him again, we're going to have to settle this account. When people do you wrong, they're not as ignorant as they come off. Let me say this by way of warning. Watch how you treat people on their way up. Because God has a way of the same people you dog on your way up. Come on here. You'll meet them on your way down. So in chapter 32, verse 22, this is looming large over Jacob's heart. But he's a son of promise, because remember, these are the grandsons of Abraham. God has promised that your descendants will be as the stars in the sky, as the granulum on the sea, the sand, as the little. You will have so many children. They will be beyond number. Every time God makes a promise, he makes good on every promise he makes. So, verse 22. He's manipulative, Jacob. He sent his two wives essentially in two different directions. And he sent his servants with oxen, with cattle, with animals, in the hopes that they would run into Esau before Esau ran into him. And here's the manipulation. This is the plan he's contrived. He's saying, if y'all see Esau, tell him your servant Jacob. Oh, he's manipulative. He won't even say that this is your twin brother, your sibling. He says, your servant. Tell him your servant Jacob is giving this gift to you, and separate these animals so that the droves will have somewhat of a presentation. I wish you could see this. A presentation, so one gift begets the other gift that begets the other gift. So by the time he gets to Jacob, essentially, he's so loaded down with blessings and gifts from Jacob, he won't have the energy to fight it. Now we're ready. Verse 22. The same night he arose and took his two wives, his two female servants, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream, and everything else that he had. He's divesting himself of all of his worldly possessions. He's anxious. He is filled with anxiety. Verse 24, and Jacob was left alone. Let me hear you say, left alone. Your money doesn't make you. Money just reveals who you really are. If you're a liar, you just got more money to do more lying with. Money doesn't change you, it reveals you. But at some point, Jacob, after all of the manipulation, after all of the contrivance, he's left alone. And a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day. I thought heretofore that Jacob was wrestling with the man. No, this has greater theological value. Jacob was not looking for this man. Jacob is ambushed by this man. Jacob is surprised by this man. This man was waiting till Jacob was all alone. This man waited till all of his children, his 2 wives, and his servants and his possessions were gone, and then this man puts him in a headlock. And Jacob, I told you, he's manipulative. Verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he's manipulative, but he has moxie. He's determined. He's losing, but he's holding on. He's losing, but he won't let go. He won't surrender. He won't submit. This is an insight into the depravity of Jacob. Jacob is so depraved to where he won't succumb to the muscling of this man. When the man, verse 25, saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with it. I told you Jacob was living on the run. This man somehow has insight that Jacob is a runner. Now he's going to put a glitch in his flesh to where he no longer will be able to run. He's going to limp for the rest of his life from this one wrestling match. Jacob, his hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Then he said, the man, let me go, for the day has broken. Therein lies the tension. It's dark, but daybreak is dawning. In between the night and the day, the man says, let me go, I gotta go. The sun is about to come up. So this wrestling match takes place in the dark. Let me hear you say in the dark. It's primitive because there's no street lights, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no satellites, there's no street signs. They are grappling in the dark. Jacob won't let go. The man puts his hip joint out of socket, and with the pain, Jacob is still holding on. But Jacob said, I will not. I told you he has moxie. He's tenacious. I will not let you go unless you bless. This is the whole point of the sermon. Bless me. That's where the sermon gets its title. Bless me. Let me hear you say, bless me. Where does he get the nerve to request, to petition, to ask for a blessing. Not just any old kind of blessing. He himself wants this man who he's wrestling with in the dark at the dawning of daybreak to bless him. This is huge. We've already seen, he has fortune, he has family, he has everything to make his life work. He's tricked his brother out of his birthright. He's tricked his brother out of the father's blessing. His life will forever be blessed. But he's at a point in his life where things do not satisfy. He's at a point in his life to where he doesn't want blessings external. He wants blessings internal. He wants to be, he himself does anybody in here want to be blessed besides me? He wants God to bless him. Let me hear you say, bless me. Verse 27, we're almost done. And he said to him, what is your name? This is a huge question. I submit to you that this man is not asking this question out of ignorance. This man is asking this question because he wants Jacob to own up to who he is. In the Old Testament, as well as the New, names are indicative of natures. When you were given a name, it gave insight into your nature. Jacob's name in the Hebrew means supplanter, hustler, heel grabber. He's a trip. And the man says, tell me your name. I'm the hustler. Ooh-wee. I'm a con artist. I'm a swindler. See, you can't be blessed until you're first able to be honest about who you are. Tell me your name. I'm a heel grabber. Watch. This night is so pivotal. Then he said, your name shall no longer be called Jacob in Hebrew. Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have striven, here comes revelation, with God and with men. You'd have to read prior chapters to fully appreciate this. And also Paul mentions it in Romans chapter 9. Their mother was having Braxton Hicks, and she's trying to figure out, why are these babies fighting in my womb? And the Lord has to tell her, make friends with Romans 9, that you have two natures in you. You have two nations in you. One is fighting against the other. And the order is going to be reversed. He says the older will serve. I just want you to see the embryonic stages of this. It's in his nature. I told you he's depraved. He was this baby when he was like this when he was in his mama's womb. And when she gave birth to them, Esau was coming out, and then Jacob grabs his heel and pulls him back in. How dramatic is this? Y'all talking about drama. and he comes out first. To add more drama to this, and I don't have time to get there, and I really mean it. I don't have time to go. In Romans 9, here's this phrase. Jacob I love. This is God. But Esau I hated. This boy's depraved. This boy has destiny on his life. He's in the dark. But now he is about to receive deliverance. I told you names are indicative of nature. God is changing his nature. God is transforming him. No longer will you be heel grabber. You will now be identified as one who is captured by God. Your very name will signal that God prevails. This is what I was talking about Wednesday night. This is soul prosperity. I want God to bless my soul. See how that works? If I'm blessed, I can go and get, with God's help, more money. Y'all not listening. If I'm blessed, I can walk into a business deal and make the right decision, and it will work out in my favor, not because of the people I'm in the room with, but because of who owns me. No longer shall your name be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have striven with God and with men, and have prevailed. Then Jacob asked him, please tell me your name. But he said, why is it that you ask my name? And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, saying, for I have seen God. I'm done. Face to face. This is a miracle. And yet, my life has been delivered. For we know that no man can look on God and live. But this man changes his name, essentially changing his nature through this wrestling match, and revelation comes, and the first order of business for this converted man, Jacob, now Israel, he changes the name of the very ground where he met this man. And at this point, verse 31, the sun rose upon him. And as he passed Peniel, I told you this is an eternal scarring or eternal injury. He will forever limp. Limping because of his hip. Wait a minute, Reverend. You said he was fighting this man, and this through revelation, just reading these 10 verses, this man is God. Why would God injure him for him to live with the aftermath of the injury for the rest of his life? God never wanted Jacob to forget this night. God never wanted Jacob to depend on his flesh ever again. But God wanted Jacob to remember, I'm no longer the same. Lord help me. Verse 32, therefore to this day the people of Israel do not eat the sinew of the thigh that is on the hip socket, because he touched the socket of Jacob's hip on the sinew of the thigh. Thank you so much. You have been patient. Bless me. Let me hear you say, bless me. You honestly mean that. You got to get honest with God about, hold on for a second, about who you are. Who you are by nature. That's what it means to be a fully devoted follower of God. It means we celebrate the fact that a radical, wonderful transformation has taken place since we met the Lord. We no longer go through life like the world does, but we go through life knowing that God will see to it that all of our needs are met. I wish I was getting through. Jacob is our patriarch. All of the sons Jacob will have are the heads of the 12 tribes of Israel. and he is the progenitor. He is the progenitor. He is the father, essentially, of the nation. But he is the father because God blessed him. See, when I was growing up, they had a place where we didn't have cell phones, and when I was a little kid, we would have to take Polaroids. I know y'all don't know what that's about, but when you had a Polaroid, or if you had a photographer's camera, in the process, they would take the film and take it into the dark room. Yeah. And to develop the film so you could see the picture that was taken, it had to go through a process. And somebody in the room, you've asked the Lord to bless you. You've prayed and you've cried and you've wondered, when will my blessing come through? Yes, sir. I want to tell you, go through the process. Oh, yes. Let the Lord work on your nature. Let the Lord work on your soul. See, if God, when he changes your nature, you won't bless him for the things. You'll bless him because he trusts you to have the things, and the things won't have you. Oh, yes. I'm finished. Do me a little favor. Take your neighbor by the hand and say, oh, neighbor, I don't know what you're going through. Tell him, I don't know how long you've been in it. But tell him, neighbor, God is in the blessing business, and God knows how to bless you. I'm finished. God yes, knows how to bless every one of us. God knows how to make your enemies leave you alone. God knows how to put your family back together. God knows how to make those who are after you be at peace with you. In chapter 33, Esau is not mad. In chapter 33, Esau hugs Jacob. It's a sign of reconciliation. When God blesses you, you'll be at peace with him, and you'll be at peace with your brethren. God knows how to bless us. I'm done, but my heart is full. God, yes, knows how to bless us. God knows how to bless us. You don't have to stand in no line. All you gotta do is go down on your knees and say, Lord, change me. Lord, bless me. Lord, make me new. Lord, do your work. Hallelujah. 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 Bless me.